Why hasn't constitutional carry passed in Florida?
Another easy question to answer. So when you think, look at time. No, so when you think about constitutional carry, so I'll give you the basics of a bill today. There, in the history, in my 10 years of history, you'd say, well, where are we at on guns? How are we at the point in time that we are today? And so 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 7, I actually sponsored the bill to allow your concealed carry to be done at the local level. If you go back 7 years with us, it would take you about 4 to 6 months to get a concealed carry permit. Today, you should be able to get them in less than a month. We do it at the local level. So that was a bill that I sponsored and we put in place then. And then if you look at, but what I did, let me tell you the process, and this will be the process for constitutional carry, same exact process. When you do a bill like that, you have to, first of all, and at the time before I was the majority leader and under President Negron, you have to convince one of your House members to do that bill also. And then you have to have a strategy between you and your House colleague. Now this counts for all bills, but especially a bill that's got a little more controversy to it. You've got to then work between your House partners and your Senate partners to get through the process. And what we had this year, in particular this year, and I was president last year and this year, last year we passed church carry, and so that was a major accomplishment, something we've been trying to do for 10 years. We got it done last year. And so it's not that your legislature is anti-gun in any fashion or Second Amendment. I would suspect that under the right circumstances, this bill would pass. You didn't have a House member and a senator working together to get through the committee process. And you'd say, well, as Senate president, you have all this broad power and you can do what you want to do. And that part's not true.
And look, one of the things that surprised me when I got elected to the Florida legislature is I thought that I was going up there to fight against progressive socialists on the Democrat side, and I've spent the majority of time fighting against members of my own party. And I will tell you, it is a big tent party. You do have folks on the Republican side that are squishy on gun issues, that are squishy on fiscal issues, in my opinion, and other social conservative issues. So. But I think it's fair to say that both of us and some of our colleagues spend a lot of time trying to do what our former speaker, Jose Oliva, called loaning them courage, or allowing them to borrow courage. And your frustrations are valid. Look, that is an issue. And I will say this, the leaders of the Florida House, and he's talking about Senate President Wilton Simpson, who is now running to be the Ag Commissioner in the state of Florida, which oversees Florida's concealed carry permit program. He's termed out, he's in his last term, and he's running for a higher office, or statewide officer. Senate President Wilton Simpson and the Speaker of the House, Chris Sprowls, they wield enormous power as the leaders of those chambers. So it's very, very hard for rank and file members to overcome, leadership priorities on that.
And I've said it since the bill passed, because I've tried to work with some of these people. We weren't going to get major issues passed like constitutional carry as long as there were those leaders there that had voted for Parkland. Because to do that would then have to admit that they took a wrong vote. And so I kept telling people, be patient, we're going to get new leadership. Once those people are gone, like the Senate president you mentioned, we would then be able to do the hard work and necessary work and to build those relationships.
as a Senate president, we do assign bills to committees.
This is Luis Valdez, Florida State Director for GOA. We're here at Representative Chuck Brannan's office at the Capitol. We were here about 20 minutes ago, and we dropped off some petitions.
You can come in. You don't have to hide from us, bro.
In support of constitutional carry.
We already saw you.
And what just happened is the petitions were thrown away.
This year, and I didn't know this, but I received the, when I received the NRA endorsement, there was a letter that came out with it. So there were 15 bills that came out that was anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment. Not one of those bills got a hearing in the legislature. And so as a lifetime member of the NRA, as now my first elected office being in the Florida Senate, there is a process that has to be gone through to get any bill done. And when a bill like this, it has this much publicity to it and this much opportunity for it, you have to have a House member and a senator that will work together to carry it out. And that wasn't the case this year.
It's extremely important to me too, but it's not the right time. You have the leadership in place that were the ones that voted in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas bill. Mm-hmm. Period. Like, was it a bad bill? Yeah, I mean, I think it was. They voted for it, so they stand behind it, and that's what they're doing. They're standing behind their bill. So they're not going to hear a bill that omits the bill that they stood behind. It has nothing to do with what's good or bad. It has to do with making a decision as a leader and following through with it. And so I'm not going to do anything to poke that bear. That's a professional courtesy and many other things.
And so come November, there's been a lot of attention brought to that issue here in the last few years. A lot of other states have passed constitutional carry, and so it's becoming more of an opportunity. And so I believe that come next year again, when your legislature reconvenes, this will be something that will be at top of mind. And for anyone in here that this bill is important to or listening, you should make sure you identify and work with your senators and your House members, because one member of either body can do nothing. You've got to have both, and you've got to have it. It's got to be structurally sound to be able to do it. So that would be my advice on constitutional carry. And again, I believe I've got at least an A rating, maybe an A+ with the NRA. And it's something that a lot of our members is important to them. But I would also tell everybody in here that the closer we get to 20-20 in the Senate, and the House has never normally been in jeopardy, right? We've had a pretty good majority in the House. The fewer you can lose. The predictions was last year there'd be 21-19 after last election. It ended up being 24-16. And so we had a lot of the bills I talked about earlier where we were able to pass. So I think you'll have a good majority in your Florida Senate. I think you'll have a good majority in your Florida House next year. And it's something that you should get serious members to engage in if you're going to pass. You can't get people to jump up and call everyone else rhinos when they don't want to pass it or they're not going to work with them. That's not a technique that's very effective. I've served 10 years, and you would say, well, if you start calling your senators names or your representatives names, that's the quickest way not to get what you want on any bill. And so I'd be respectful about the situation. I would work with your senators, your locals. You've got some great local talent here. We've got great senators all across this state and representatives. And so I would work with those folks and get it done.
Put it on my desk. I'll sign it. I would love to have property insurance. I'd love to have data privacy. I would love to have constitutional carry. There's a lot of great things, but we just went through a legislative session where they failed to deliver on some of those priorities. And so what I will do is I will ask the legislative leaders, is there something that you can get across the finish line? And I will encourage them to do that, because I think that there's a lot of key things, that we could do. So that is a possibility. The initial call will just be for the congressional maps, but it is absolutely possible that when they actually convene for the special session, that you could see additional issues raised in it.